Welcome to another Enjoying Art member painting hour. If you are a member of Enjoying Art, please plan to join us every Friday. In this hour, we're going to paint a sunrise on the beach. Before you start it, please give this video a like, share with your friends. If this is the first time here, please subscribe and turn on notification. So the first thing we're going to do is to put the color in the sky and the reflection. They're very much the same color. This time I'm going to wet the paper because I want it to the color go a little bit smoother. But a little bit careful, where's the sun going to be? Right now the sun is right in the middle of the picture. So what about I'm going to move the sun a little bit off the center, a little bit on this side. So I'm going to keep my finger over there. So I'm going to painting around the finger because that space, it will be what the white color would be. So I don't want the white color totally merge into the surrounding. So I'm going to put it like this, coming down, and keep my finger over there. I know some of you already start working. You're working so hard. Relax, girls. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit white in the center, just like a little keyhole. Okay, now I'm going to put it like that. And making sure it's wet enough, but not too wet. So wet enough. Coming down all the way to the bottom over here. So I wet this paper. The next thing I'm going to start working on is to put the yellow color around that white space. So the white space is right over here. So I'm going to use this flat brush. I use the flat brush probably will be like more than 60% or 70% of the entire painting work I done with this. So now I'm going to start working on the yellow color, painting around the white space. So I'm going to put it over here. And keep in mind, you are not actually copying the photograph. You are use the photograph as the inspiration to create your own painting, your own composition. Okay, I'm going to put it down over here, coming down like this. Now I get the yellow color around, and I'm going to have some even more yellow color. Okay, a little more yellow color around over here, making sure I have a little bit richer. So like that, and don't worry. Now I have that right here. Nice. Now I'm going to continue because the timing is very important here. So I'm going to do the wet into the whole background first. Okay, like this. Now, what's the... Yeah, the wet is very much like around over here and the outside, right? So you have enough. So now the colors really fade into the wet. Now what I am going to do, I'm just going to put the red color in here and making sure it's not super thick. So I'm going to put a little red color. Now I'm going to put the red color right outside here like that, and maybe get a little yellow color first. I'm going to take a little yellow color. Actually, I mix the color right inside the brush. Okay, now coming over here. Now I'm looking at the reflection over here. Now I see this is the orange color. I'm going to get a little bit more yellow and tap a little bit red. Now I see I mix it just in the brush. Now I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to have that orange color. I don't look at anything else but looking at the paper, and I know that how much color I have in the brush. Okay, that's good. Like that on this side. And I'm going to take a little bit more yellow color, add a little red, be brave, and just put the orange color, maybe a little bit more red in here. So I'm going to put a little red color and mix it right on the paper. I want you to try that. It will be fun. So I'm going to come over here and have the orange color coming in a little bit like that. Now you pay attention to the reflection to see how the orange color actually interact with the yellow color like that. Now that's good enough. Now coming over here, Now it's good enough. And on this side, there's all orange color. Now I'm gonna working into the blue color on the top. So I'm gonna take a little Winsor blue. I'm gonna start mixing it right on the paper over here. Start from the top and going through over here. I'm gonna get a little bit of the blue color. Now here you go. Now it's around this area is showing a little bit more of the yellow orange color. Now coming away a little bit soft, come on this side like that. And now the color is getting a little bit interesting, but I'm going to have one more round of orange color because I need the orange color to push the color, the blue color, a little bit away. So I'm going to take the orange color. Now I'm mixing it right over here. Now let's take a look. This is very important by using the direct painting onto the paper to create an atmosphere, because if you don't have the atmosphere, and that the morning feeling is not going to show strongly. So what I am doing is I'm going to clean my brush. It just brush it just with the clean, because I don't want those color too strong in between the color over here. So I'm going to brush through like this. And I don't want the green color over here, so I'm going to take out the green color, just the clean brush, take out the green color. Now I'm going to brush it this way, let the color merge it together and merge together like that. Okay, I think the sky, it looks fine, but at the same time I'm going to put the blue gray color onto the beach as well. So I'm going to take a little bit red like that. I'm going to put it right over here. See that? Those color actually merge over. That would be the reflection of the sky like that. So over here I can have a little color blend in over here, and that's good enough for now. So now next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the color on the beach for the darker area, and I can just put a little color here for now, and I'm going to come back a little bit later. I'm going to just put a little color over here just for the foundation. The next step, we are going to make the area of the water, the ocean, to be a little bit lighter, because if you put the blue color on the top, it will look like a gray color, because you have an orange with the blue. Exactly, it's a gray color, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this area a little bit lighter. Now I'm going to put the water over here with this large brush. Okay, I always think about, if you use a large brush, use a large brush larger than thing is possible. I'm going to remove that area to make it a little bit lighter. So the mixed color, after you put the blue color in, it's not going to look like a gray color, because you less orange and red color in the mixture. So that is a simple math. We have been talking about the math problem for quite a bit since the portrait. So come over here. That's fine. Like that. They're a little bit lighter. And also on this side, I'm going to also leave a little bit, because I'm going to put a little blue color over here too. So think about the top over here. Here you go. Now, very easy to lift with this brush. Seriously. Now I'm also going to just use the corner of this flat brush. I'm going to soften a little bit the edge of the yellow color, because it has a little bit too much of the texture. Like that. I think this is good. I think we're getting somewhere. Now I'm going to come back to the middle over here a little bit later. Now what I want to do, I'm going to start making the dark beach color at this point. So I try to create a contrast as much as I can. So I'm going to have a little bit red color mixed in here. Now I'm going to have this pretty dark color That's a good color. I like that. That's these two colors. Now, take a look. I'm going to start over here. Here you go. I like this. I'm going to have that. Coming over here, just use this side. So I'm going to push that a little bit outside over here. So I'm going to do a little bit faster first with the dark color, like that, look like a dark color on this side, and coming on over here. No worry, you're gonna have plenty of time to finish yours. You might want to start thinking some question for me right now by observing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay, now on this side, I'm gonna have a little bit blue color. Now I'm gonna come over here, make the color even darker. Now I'm gonna come here, see, I'm gonna put this a little dark color right over here. It just have a nice nice shape. And also I'm gonna modify the shape a little bit. I let this actually pointing into the sun. Okay, I'm gonna have this like this, and those shape actually pointing into the sun direction. And now at this point, before I switch my brush, I'm gonna make some color even darker by having a lot more pigment, just the red and the blue color. And I'm going to put this right at the corner over here. I'm going to have a little bit more blue. And right over here, when it's still wet, I'm going to wet into wet like this, coming over here, like that. And let the water do some work for us. Okay, that's good. Now we have some nice connected colors. It's very nice with some darker color. Now I'm gonna also have a little bit lighter. Now I'm gonna over here to start merge this color together, and a little bit merge that into here like that, and maybe a little bit lighter shape like that. That's fine. Okay, and now I'm gonna come into the edge over here. I'm gonna have a little bit more red, and this red color would make it feel like, oh, that is actually closer to the sun area. So I'm gonna have this color a little bit warmer like that. I'm gonna connect that over here, like I connect that into a little bit closer to the outside over here, like that, and have a little bit closer. And at this point, I'm going to change my brush, use the small calligraphy brush, using these two brushes. And one can cover the things really quickly and fast, and the other one, it can do a lot of delicate details and make it nice, very, just one big, one small, that create that nice, interesting. I'm gonna have a little big shape over here. I invented like a little shape over on this side, like that. So after this, that is getting there. Now I'm gonna have a little bit yellow and orange color, and a little yellow and the bright yellow orange color right next to over here. So because anything across to the areas of the sun or the reflection of the sun, it will look like a very orange color. So that's good, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to put the blue color into the ocean area. So I'm going to just take the blue color over here, or take that little blue over here. They're probably the good enough blue. So now I'm going to put it right over here. But when it's closer to the sun area, it will have more orange color than the blue color. You see that? As soon as I have a little blue color over here, make the people think about it's the water, it's the ocean. I directly paint the blue color over here. So you are kind of overlaid the color directly onto the orange color. Now coming closer over here and closer. Now I'm gonna change it back to the orange color. Before I do that, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more blue on this side, like that. That's good, right? That's good. Now I'm gonna also put a little blue color over here as well. A little blue color over here. That's good. And you can see that a little blue color over there, and very nice. And also surrounded by a little light color. Okay, now I'm going to start mixing a little orange color. Now I'm gonna mixing a little orange color just directly with the yellow. Now take a look carefully, and from here I'm gonna going into the sun area. Look at that. You got to look at here. Okay, now and connect that into the area. So yeah, I'm making the illusion of the shine. Now I'm going to have a little bit more red. Now take a look. I'm going to have this over. Look, I'm going to have this over. But everything over the sun area, even the reflection of the sun, it always looks really warm. Now I'm going to coming over here. Now that's good. Now also going to also paint the reflection of that house. I'm going to just put over here. Now usually you paint the house before paint the reflection. Now I'm going to paint the reflection first before I paint the house. That's fine, like that. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do, that's make it really interesting. Now I'm going to make it a little bit softer transition into here. Now just nice, a little transition. Now on here, right under, I can have a little bit more orange color. A little bit more orange color right under the water area. Now I'm going to have a little bit red orange color. Let's see. I'm going to put over here like that. See, there's the glowing. It's nice. Also I'm going to come back here. Also make a little bit red color over here too. Like that. Nice. A little bit interrupting by the red color. Okay. Now the painting getting interesting. Now I'm going to soften the bottom over here. Let it gradually coming through. Like I have the color. So when I put the details into the ocean over here, it's going to tell a better story a little bit later. So now this is good. Those are coming along very nicely. And maybe at this point I'm going to add a little bit brown color, a brown, warm brown color. Just as it suggested, there's the house on the top. Okay, there's a little house the people were gathering. So I'm going to put a little bit this color. Now let's see. Right over here. I don't have to do too much to it. So I'm going to put just a little color like that. You don't want to make it look too solid. It's just a little bit like that. I just use the water now and coming a little bit like this. That's good enough. And coming over here. That's good enough. Like that. You see that? That's good. And I'm going to do other things a little bit later. So now after this, I'm going to do something really dramatic. Now I'm going to working on to the trees on the side over here. So let's pay attention. I'm going to put the yellow color first, and like a yellow orange color. I'm going to put over here because decided changed it to become the tree. Like that. I'm going to have this a little bit discontinue like that. Start from the side over here because this side is actually taking in a lot of light. So on the other side, I gradually go for the brown color or the brown gray colors, but making the orange color first, a little bit darker orange color. Now on here, like that. And now on the other side, I'm going to have a little bit kind of this darker color, a little bit kind of brown gray color. Well, anyway, the brown color is actually the gray color, but it's a warm gray color. So I'm gonna have that coming over here like this, but still leave a little bit gap for the background. Now here you go. So I'm gonna get the illusion that actually the tree on this side. And I'm gonna have a little bit dry brush, a little bit like that on this side. So I'm gonna add the darker color a little bit later and just try to get the illusion that's the color actually from a little light color and come gradually coming into a little bit darker and darker because of the shadow of the tree. Like that. Okay, keep that the gap. Now this is good for this step. And I want to actually soften that a little bit. I think it's a little bit over too much coming around. So I'm going to have this a little bit softer. Like that. That's good. Some of the texture I need to remove it. Some area I need to make it smoother. So before I adding some other final definitions to it, right? So over here, I'm gonna break this a little bit. I don't want this a little bit so hard. So I'm gonna break a little bit over here and make it a little bit softer. That's fine. And now I'm gonna making this a little bit lighter. I'm gonna make this a little bit softer, blend together. So a little bit changes in this step is making a very fine looking transition and also make it a little bit more ready for the final touch, because you are fine-tuning the balance between different textures, like say between soft and hard, and between. Now I'm going to make this a little bit softer, just the corner of this flat brush. That's fine. The texture over here, I'm going to soften that also. I'm going to make that a little bit look more finish. So I'm going to have this a little bit lighter. Like that. Coming in a little bit over here. Okay. Now, just a little touch to it. If you know what it's going to take, you just try it. Okay. Okay. Now soften this area. That's pretty nice. And the next thing I'm going to do is create a little sun rays. Like from the sun over here, I'm going to have this area always start from the sun direction. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. Like that. You see that? Now the sun goes through nicely. Have the feeling of the sun go through in this place. I may not really want it to be so defined. Over here, I'm going to have a little bit coming over here too. And also come out from the sun. You see that? How easy to use this flat brush. Like that. Nice. That's good. Okay. Very easy. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to start working a little bit into the ocean over here. So I'm going to use my calligraphy brush again. Now I'm going to just give it a little few lines. Just think about the line is not really that dark. So a little bit kind of blue purple colors. Okay, that's a good color. Now take a look. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to give a little definitions. Like that. That's good. And pay enough close attention to see how this look. I'm gonna have a little thin line coming through over here. That's nice. And a little line coming over here. Just look, observe, and then pick the element that you think is gonna help you to describe your impression. Okay, that's good. A little bit like that. And some are a little bit darker, some are a little bit smaller. And let's take a look. And the top over here, I'm going to have a little bit darker, a little line like this. That's nice. Okay. And I'm going to have something even darker, a little bit, in some area, a little bit darker, a little bit fade away, a little bit darker over here, and then fade away. Okay, like that. Here you go. like this. That's good. Now it created the illusion of the movement of the ocean. It looks like the water area. I am going to come back to give it a little bit darker blue colors, and right now the color is not enough, but we can do that with a little overlay wash a little bit later. So now I just add a little bit detail into that. And now at the same time over here, I'm gonna also add a little track over here. Something right over here. This area is already dry. So I'm gonna have it come on this side like that. Coming onto this area like that. Make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, coming over here. And anything you add to the painting, it's just going to make the area look even darker because this is translucent painting. And I'm going to have a little bit, maybe a little lighter when it merged together in the edge. So like that. Now at this point, I'm also going to add a little bit suggestions on the shadow side of the tree and filling the tree. And actually they're probably okay, but I'm going to lift up a little color over here because I want this a little bit merged together. I'm going to lift up the color underneath over here, just give a little bit merged together. So I first need to lift it up. I don't want you to use the very thick orange color. Try to cover it. That is just not translucent watercolor. It actually it's not gonna help, but it's gonna do the opposite. So now I remove some color over here, and then you put back a little suggestions of orange color, and that is gonna work. Let me show you. I'm gonna just put the orange color, yellow and red, and that is too much. So I'm gonna have a little bit more yellow. Start over again, like over here. You see that? As soon as I put a little bit yellow orange color over here, now it's showing actually it's beautiful blend together like the morning scene of the tree. And maybe a little bit red. And now it looks a little bit too much green at the bottom over here. Like that. And maybe remove that color a little bit. And just suggest a little bit catch the shadow down over there. So I think the tree would give a little bit more relaxing feeling. The shape look a little bit better. And now the same thing over here. I'm going to add a little orange color and put it into the sun rays track. But now you don't want to make it look too dark. So I need to still lift up, make it a little bit light enough, like that. That's good. I'm going to add a little blue color onto the water. So I'm going to have a little bit blue color straight from the blue. Now I'm going to put it right over here. Just put it on the top. It's sometimes a little bit darker, a little bit more blue. It already make a difference. But you don't want to keep going until it over the limit. So I'm going to have a little bit more over here. That's already good enough. Right? That's a little bit better. Now the next thing I'm going to do is the dark. Now I'm going to start from the orange color. Okay, the red orange color. Now I'm gonna put it in the area right over here. So this right here, that the dark right here, I think right at this area. So think about again before you do it. And on this side and over here, if you have to draw it out, you can draw it out. But if you have enough confidence just doing it, that's fine. I'm going to continue over here. And I'm going to keep going. Okay. I'm going to keep going over here. That's good enough. So that's as long as I'm going to. So now on this side, I'm going to coming on this side. I'm going to draw the whole thing with my orange color. That's okay. So right over here. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to have some vertical line like that. I'm not sure how. You just need to look at for the shapes. Okay, may not really want that to be so clear, so I'm gonna make that a little bit, just use the water, make a little bit soft, right over there. That's good enough. A little bit soft when it's close to the sun, a little bit soft. That's good. Now when it a little bit more and more away, you're gonna see a little bit more and more blue. When the orange, adding a little blue color to it, it would looks like a little brown. So I'm gonna pick a little brown color, and now I'm gonna start adding a little bit more and more brown. So when you do that, I don't think you need to make it so detailed and clear. So you can just add a little bit. And speaking of the water drop, I just lift up over here. But you don't want to move your brush stroke in the paper again and again. It will actually create removing the color. You make it a lot more. So now I'm gonna keep going over here. I'm gonna have a little bit more brown color on the top over here. This line needs to be a little bit more clear. Okay, like that. And now I'm gonna get on the same side, on the same thing on this side, and I need to add a little color over here. And squinting your eyes so you don't have to make too much a big deal onto that, making it have to be really too serious. Now I'm gonna have a little bit, a few lines, just draw over here, just that, and put a little blue color when it's got away, more and more away from the sun area, like that. So when you see it in the distance, it looks like oh wow, it's so real, but actually it's not that real when you get closer to it. So I'm gonna add a little big shape over here too, like that. Looks like there's a car over there. I'm gonna ignore the car. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit color over here. Okay, now I'll come back on this side. I'm gonna add this a little bit blue color. Now I'm gonna have it a little bit more clear because closer and closer to us. Here you go. Like that. Maybe a little bit darker coming on this side. I'm gonna make the adjusting after I putting the color in here. So pay attention to that. And it looks like theirs could be a little bit darker. Okay, make a little bit adjusting on the top line over here. Okay, like that, going through. Maybe a little bit brown. That's good. Now in the bottom over here, I'm going to see a little bit color, and actually a little bit this color. Now I'm going to set a little bit on the edge over here. Have a little bit coming out like this. We can see that, and can see the shadow, catch the shadow of the tree over here, like that. That's fine. Maybe not so dark, so I'm gonna have this a little bit lighter, like this. Alright, and got a little color coming in to the water, and that's okay. Now I'm gonna have a little brown color, a little warm in the middle over here. Okay. Now also going to a little bit more suggestion for this house. Okay. Now add a little bit, adding a little bit for the reflection, but over here I'm gonna have a little bit coming in to the water. So have some area a little bit clear than the others. I'm gonna have a little bit more red over here too. I have a little red over here in the water. There you go. A little red, a little bit more orange and red at the top over here. And that's just good. And for the water, I'm gonna have a few area a little bit darker, and right over here I'm gonna have a little bit darker. Oh, the whole water is still a little wet, so that's fine. I'm gonna clear that out a little bit. That is a little bit too much. I clear a little bit, and I come back to do that after it dries. So it's fine, like that. And I think the orange color coming in here a little bit more continuous. So use the calligraphy brush to soften that a little bit. So now you have the dark, and you have, I'm gonna have this house, raise that up a little bit, like that's good, and a little bit details like that. If you like this kind of painting, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. If this is the first time here, please subscribe, turn on notification so you won't miss any future video like this from Enjoying Art. I will see you in my next video.